All right, guys. Okay. All right. Now, first, before we get started, okay, I want to do a few, just kind of give some prefaces to some things before we get started. All right. Nick decided that he wanted to start doing this for us, guys. Where we have like a couple of days a week where we do some basic training. All of it's going to be basic stuff. Okay, basic meaning to help the people who are beginning, just like myself, right? And now, one thing I want to make sure that you guys understand. All right, because I see a lot of people making comments and stuff like that they might not understand that this is in no way to take the place of the epic training. That it is ludicrous to even think so, right? Like those traders are like, up here, right? And we're down here as far as our knowledge, right? So it is in no way to take the place of that. So what does that actually mean for you guys? That means you need to be continuing to go through your epic syllabus, especially, for us beginners, we're probably still going through the syllabus, right? Continue to go through your syllabus at a steady pace. Now, everybody's pace is going to be different. That's cool, right? But do understand when I say steady, I'm going to give you an example. You do what you want to do, and I'm going to give you an example of what I mean by that. All right. So that way you guys can have have a less stressful experience and have positive moments, right? So what I mean by that is, let's say you've been in the program for 2 weeks now, right? And we know it's a 2 week syllabus, but we know you have jobs, you have life, you have, husband, wife, kids, right? You have other businesses that you're doing, right? But if you've been in a program for 2 weeks now, right? And you find yourself, you're on week 1, day 3, you may want to relook at your schedule of training, because it's like this. You're only going to get out of the program what you put into the program. So if you're putting into it at a pace of, 3 days worth of trainings, and the trainings are like maybe one of the days is maybe like an hour and a half long, let's just say. So if you're putting it in at a rate of, let's say, 2 hours per day, and that's 6 hours in a 2 week time period, then yes, you are going to be lost. Speaking from experience on that. Okay, so just understand that this is to help, I'm saying, as far as like as you're going through the beginning stuff that most of us are going through. I ain't gonna say everybody, but most of us are still going through, is to help kind of clear up some of the cobwebs that may be there. Okay, I actually came to Nick and said, hey man, I think this is a great idea, because I know there were some things that I still had some cobwebs around, going in my head, as I was going through the syllabus. He said, that's totally natural, but let's see what we can do to help the team. Okay. So with that being said, now, before we had this particular training, I gave a recommendation for people to try to be at least week 1, day 4, right? And the reason why that is because I know that the stuff that we're going to talk about today, you will at least be exposed to that if you had reached that level. Let's say you didn't reach that level. Okay, cool. You do just like anything else that you don't understand. You pay attention and you ask questions about that particular topic, which brings me to the next part. There's going to be things that you have questions on that we're not talking about today. Okay, awesome. That means you continue to go through the syllabus and you ask questions on those particular channels that Nick discussed on the meeting. All right, that means they won't be explained here. This is a specific, overview training, if you will, for a specific topic. All right, that means all the other topics aren't on this call. Okay, so they can be addressed in other places that we all already have access to. So I want to bring that about as well. Okay, now, before we go ahead and get going with this though, all right, let's start out with making sure that we have our minds in the right spot. We know there's tons of updates that we've had, and awesome stuff is going on. It's a new year, all this stuff, and that can be kind of, you have your emotions all over the place, right? So before we start any type of training or trading, we're actually taught to do this inside of the EPIC syllabus. We're actually taught to do this. So I'm going to show you guys where that's at. But the reason why, we're going to actually take a couple moments and say a few things. It's not going to be like chanting. I don't even know what they call it, but we're going to say a few things from the back office to kind of get us in the right mindset. And these are things that we should be doing before we start any of our EPIC training, and before we start any of our EPIC trading. Even if you're on demo, right? Start your day with, right before you do it, with some of these mantras, if you will. So I'm going to show you where it's at, and we're going to do this together before we jump into this training, because we need to be in the right mindset to be able to receive the information. Is that cool, guys? If you guys are in agreement with being in the right mindset, put down in the comments a number 1. Let me know. Let me know if you guys are in agreement with being in the right mindset. Pam says yes. Absolutely. Sandra says yes. Henry says yes. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. All right. Cool. We all win. I don't know who that is, but I like that name. We all win. I like that, baby. All right. Let me share my screen with you guys. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you where this is, what I'm talking about. I'm not making it up. Okay. I'm going to show you. All right. So let me go over here. All right. To my Epic back office. And I'm going to show you exactly where it is. So that way there's no confusion. We're going to go ahead and log in. All right. To our Epic back office here. All right. And then we go over here to the left where it says Epic University. All right. And then over here, okay, it says Forex Affirmations. That's what it's called, an affirmation. I was saying a mantra. Y'all knew what it was about. All right, Forex Affirmation. All right, and these are, a list of affirmations that you can say, but let's just go ahead and pick a couple out. And we're just literally going to take a couple minutes to say them to ourselves. Let's see. Which one should we say? I am worthy. I deserve to be rich. Let's do that one. All right. So I want you guys to say it. You can like close your eyes if you want to. You keep your eyes open, but I want you to say it to yourselves and not just say it under your breath, but say it aloud. Because yes, there is power. I know y'all done heard there's power in the tongue. It's true, right? And it's power when you speak it and when you hear it, right? So that you can start to believe it. You ever heard that thing about if you tell yourself a lie enough times that you're going to actually believe it? Well, it's true, right? Not saying that this is a lie, but whatever you tell yourself consistently, you're going to start believing it, right? So we definitely want you to be believing this because this is going to help you be in a better positive vibration as you're learning how to do this stuff. You're not going to be giving up and all that stuff, all right? So let's use that one. Let's say, I am worthy. I deserve to be rich. Okay. So let's just take and say that 10 times to ourselves. Say it aloud, unless your kids are sleeping, then close the door, right? But say it aloud. I deserve to be rich. 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 Two more times. I deserve to be rich. I deserve to be rich. Put down in the comments, guys. If you're feeling like you deserve to be rich, say, I deserve to be rich. Put it down in the comments. Let me see it. I deserve to be rich. Because this is crucial, guys. This is absolutely crucial to, being in a better place with this stuff. Let me go ahead and get back over here. Stop share. Let's see what we got. All right, absolutely. Pam, look, Pam said it with exclamations and capital letters. That's what I'm talking about, guys. That's what I'm talking about. Now, guys, you saw where it was in the back office, okay? So there's no, no excuse that you can't find it. Like I said, pick one of those each time before you start doing your training or your trading. Both of them. Pick one of them, whatever one that you resonate with that day, and say it to yourself at least 10 times. And I guarantee I can speak, I can vouch for it that it works. Even before I joined Epic, I was doing this stuff. And this is one of the reasons why I have great success, because I do things just like that. Free. Look at that. That was free. All right. So let's go ahead and do this. All right. So one of the things that we're going to talk about today is we're going to talk about counting pips. Okay. Now, we're actually going to break it down, though, into multiple sections. So before we jump into the first part that we're going to do, I'm going to show you the different sections that we'll be covering. Not all of them today, but throughout, as our, sessions kind of go on for our team. All right. Now, why are we not trying to cover everything today? Because it leads to information overload. That's literally why, right? What we're doing is to help clear up some of the things that you may have missed. It is not to just, talk at you and have, tons and tons of more information that you yet don't understand. That kind of defeats the purpose, right? So let me go ahead, and I want to make sure you guys can see my board, because I'm going to put up here and let you know the topics that we'll be discussing. Like I said, all of them, not today, but moving forward, but you're going to see them, and you're going to see them in order. So that way, if you come across a question of something, of a topic that we're not discussing today, what are you going to do? You're going to continue your training on your 2-week syllabus, right? And you can ask the questions in the proper channels, means ask in the Epic Signal, not Epic Signal group, but the Epic group, right? And the Telegram chat, you can ask the Epic leaders inside of their email, everywhere that that Nick already told us that we can ask, all right? But just not on this call because this one is specific for what we're talking about, okay? So let me go up here on my whiteboard. And I'm going to list these out first, okay? I'm going to list these topics out, all right? Now, one thing that we didn't say that's crucially important, if you haven't done so, while I'm listing these out, get a pen and paper. And moving forward, if you're ever showing up to a training that you see my name on, bring a pen and paper, period, okay? So go ahead now, grab a pen and paper. If you have not grabbed one, grab a pen and paper while I write out this list really quick, all right? Go ahead and do that. All right, so the first one for today, what we're gonna be talking about is we're gonna be talking about as it relates to counting pips, okay? All right, we're gonna be talking about doing the ones with Forex pairs. All right, that do not have, not JPY, that don't have JPY in them, okay? All right, and on this first one, we're not going to be talking about using the pipette, okay? Not pipette, all right? Now, before you say, well, I don't know what all those things are, you know my answer. Continue your training in the 2-week syllabus, because I guarantee if you had reached to week 1 day 4, at least you would have been exposed to this stuff, and I can say that for sure because I got to that page, to that section myself, okay? So that's one section we're going to be covering, okay? And then we're also going to be covering how to count the pips when you're dealing with Forex pairs, okay? And still not JPY, okay? But that do have a pipette, okay? We're going to be breaking that apart, all right? Then next one, we're going to be discussing the pairs that do have JPY. So we're just going to call them JPY pairs because they have JPY in those pairs, okay? JPY pairs with no pipette. Then we're going to discuss JPY pairs with the pipette. All right. Then once we do that, we're going to discuss, I might run out of space here, counting the take profit when you're in a buy situation, right? We're going to talk about counting the take profit when we're in a sell situation. All right. And I need to use this space over here because I'm running out of space. All right. And then we're going to be talking about counting the stop loss when we're in a buy situation. And we're going to be talking about counting the stop loss when we're in a sell situation. Okay, so those are the things we're going to be talking about as it relates to counting pips. Okay, everything that we're going to be talking about is going to be relating to counting pips. All right, not relating to reading charts or anything of that nature. It is related to counting pips. Why? Because if you don't understand how to count pips, it's going to be super difficult for you to, for one, read a chart, but not even that, even down to copy and pasting. This is literally what I found out. Okay. Okay, this is literally what I found out during the training, is that even when I was copying and pasting, that I had to know how to count pips, because they'll be like, oh, move your stop loss. I'm like, what? Right? And it was like, yeah, move it up to break even. What? Right? All right. You know, so if I didn't know how to count pips, it would have been terrible, right? So I had to really, learn how to count pips. Okay. So this is what we're going to be discussing over the next sessions. Okay. Over the next sessions. Okay. And I wanted to show you this so that way you know what to expect coming forward, as well as if we're on this session here and you ask a question about a JPY pair, I'm going to tell you to go back to the 2-week syllabus and ask in the different channels as well, because we're not there yet. Okay, we're not here in our session, and this is only to enhance or help or complement, if you will, complement what we're learning in the 2-week syllabus. It is not to replace it. Okay, so is everybody on board with that? Put down the comments, say number 2. If you're on board with that, put on the comments number 2. I want to make sure that you're with me. All right, because what we're going to be doing after we go through this first session is we're going to be doing actual team examples. That means I'm going to be picking people out of the crowd to do some pip counting. That's right. Okay. So don't be up there thinking you don't have your camera on, so that means I'm not calling on you, because I'm probably going to call on you first if you don't have your camera on, because I'm going to think you're trying to hide out. I'm going to really think that. So I'm going to call on you first. All right. All right, so does that make sense? Two, we got some twos. That's what I'm talking about. All right, cool. All right, so let's get down into it. Forex pairs, not including the JPY pairs, and let's see how to count the pips. All right. Now, here is the main way that you're going to count these pips, okay? You'll look at a price of, let's take a pair. Let's take a pair. You look at a price of a pair, all right? So let's say you go over to your MetaTrader 4, okay? And I'm just using it on my phone. All right, I'm just looking at it on my phone just for looking it up, right? And let's say we take one of these pairs here. Let's say we take a JBP USD pair, okay? Let's say this is an example pair. And I said JBP, I meant to say G. All right, Great British Pound USD, okay? All right, let's say we take that pair, all right? And let's say that price, which they have here, is 1.3662. All right, this is how it's written. All right, 1.3662. If you guys have access to your phone, all right, outside of the computer, which I highly recommend moving forward, right, then go ahead and pull it up on your MetaTrader 4, because that price is going to be the same because the market's closed. So that price is just pretty much sitting there on the screen right now. So that way you can see what I'm saying. All right. So now when you're counting pips for the regular Forex pairs, okay, remember I said those are the Forex pairs that we're talking about right now. We're not talking about the ones that have JPY in them. So the way you count it for Forex pairs that don't have JPY in it is you're going to look at these numbers here, these last two. Hold on, let me put that in a different color. So it can really stand out. All right, you see how the number has a number, then a decimal spot right here, and then it has four more numbers here, four more digits. You're going to look at counting from the decimal spot, count over 4, and you're going to deal with the last two. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4. So these last two right here is what you're going to care about. These last two. All right. Oh, he got a minute. Okay. These last two are what you're going to be taking a look at to begin with. All right. When you're talking about counting the pips. Okay. These last two. All right. So let's say if we want, so now that you know what to look for. All right. And let's put up another one. Let's say it's a Euro USD. And these are, I'm just taking these numbers off the MetaTrader 4. Okay, I'm just taking these numbers off of there. So let's, hold on. Open up this and just look up another one. Let's say there's Euro USD. Okay. And that one has a price of 1.2216 with a 4 at the top. All right. Now, which numbers are we going to look at? Once again, we go to the decimal spot and count over 4. All right. And take this last two. We're going to look at these right here. Going to look at these numbers. All right. When we're counting the pips. All right. So now that you know what digits to pay attention to begin with, now you can actually get into counting the pips themselves. All right. So let's say we want to find out, what is 20 pips, right? What if I want to gain 20 pips? Okay. Then how will I know what is 20 pips from this, right? How will I add 20 pips to this? Add 20 pips. Add 20 pips. All right. How will I add 20 pips to this? Add 20 pips. All right. And let me see. Yeah, both of those numbers work great. All right. How will I add 20 pips to this? Now, it doesn't matter to me if you add it in your head or you pull up a calculator. Do whatever you got to do. If you need to pull up a calculator, do it. Sometimes I pull up a calculator. All right. But at the end of the day, yeah, you need to add. All right. You don't have to be a mathematician, but you need to add to grab a calculator if you need to. All right. So let's take this one down here for a real quick reference. All right. So if we want to add 20 pips, well, we know we need to be starting out looking at these two numbers right here, right? So then what we're going to do is we're going to add 20. We're going to put that 20 here, okay? And we said we want to add 20 pips, so let's go on and add 20 pips then. We're going to put that 20 there. And what price is that going to leave us with? What price is that going to leave us with? All right? That's going to leave us with 6 plus 0 is 6. You're just adding these numbers. 1 plus 2 is 3. Now, the rest of the numbers, you just bring them down. The rest of the numbers, you just bring them down. So that means that little tiny 4 up there, which is called the pipette, but we're not counting the pipette today. But that little tiny 4 up there, the little pipette, we're going to go ahead and bring the little tiny 4 up here. Look at the little tiny 4. He coming too. We don't need the little baby. All right. That means that 2 that's up there, let's go on and bring it down. Bring it down with us. That 2 up there, go on and bring it down with us. That decimal point up there, bring it down with us. And that 1 up there, bring it down with us. So now, this literally, you have literally just counted 20 pips. You have added 20 pips to this. You just added 20 pips. 1.2236 is the new price right there. I mean, 1.2236 with the pipette of 4, okay? So now you have the new price, all right? Just like that, just that, simple. Once you know the numbers to look at, then it becomes clear like that. But before, you didn't know what numbers you're supposed to be looking at, so you're thinking about the regular way that we're taught to do math. But now that you know what numbers to look at to begin with, then it's like, oh, okay, I know how to add 20, right? Know how to add 20, right? Or you got a calculator that can add 20 for you, right? All right, so it'll be the same thing here, all right? So let's say if we're going to add 20 pips to this pair, right? Let's say we want to add 20 pips to this pair. Now, why this is important, because I want to make sure you guys understand, because there's going to be times they're going to say, hey, take profit at 20 pips. They're going to say these terms that you'll learn these terms. But if you don't know how to count pips, then you're not going to know, well, what do you mean, put my take profit at 20 pips? What does that mean? Well, you'll know when you know how to count pips, right? Because if you don't know how to count pips, then you ain't going to be able to put that in, right? And the same thing with stop loss. When they're like, oh, yeah, move your stop loss so that it looks like that you gain 3 pips. Like, you're not going to know if you don't know how to count pips. It starts here. It's kind of like, if someone's telling you to write a novel, but yet you didn't learn your ABCs. You're like, yeah, I want to write a novel. And then you don't know how to write your ABC. Well, I'm not sure how you write a novel then if you don't know how to do your ABCs. That's a little rough, right? So this is like the ABCs that once you understand this, then you're going to be able to move to the next step and understand that. So if we got 20 here, right, we want to add our 20 pips here. So we put a 20 there, right? And I'm going to erase this just so we can have some room right here, all right? I'm going to erase this so we can have some room. So now you guys see that one. I want you to see this one, okay? So we added the 20 pips there, right? All right, and we put it in the spot. The last 2 digits of the last 4, right? The decimal place, count over 4, and use the last 2 digits, right? So now what will we be left with? Well, let's add these up first. 2 plus 0 is 2. 6 plus 2 is 8. Now, what are we going to do with the rest of the stuff? We're just going to leave it hanging? No. We need to bring the little baby, which is the pipette. Bring the little baby with us. All right, bring the little baby down here. Bring this number down here as well. That's 6. Bring that 3 down here too as well. Bring that decimal spot as well, and bring that 1 as well. All right, so now this is our new number right here. We have just added 20 pips to that price. So once you understand how to add these pips, when people are telling you to do anything with the take profit, stop loss, right? Now you're going to actually be able to do it. And even though you're probably thinking, like I was thinking when we started with the copy and paste, right? When I started copy and paste, I didn't know that I would still need to understand the pips at that stage, but I did. I did need to learn how to do that, right? I was literally like messing up, because I didn't understand how to count the pips thoroughly at that particular point, right? So understanding how to count the pips is going to be crucial. All right. Now let me know if that's making sense. Put down in the comments. If that's making sense, put down in the comments number 1. Put down the comments in number 1 if that's making sense. All right, put that in comments number 1. All right, and Sandra, we're not there yet. Okay, I want you guys to stay where we're at, because what happens when you put other things in the comments, other people get confused. Like, what's that? Stay where we're at. We're adding the pips in a regular situation right here. We're not in the take profit. We're not in the buy. We're not in the sell. Right? Right now, we're doing regular math. Because once we get there, Sandra, then we'll explain to people, this is how you add it when you're in a buy. Because if you know how to add, then everything else is situational. But you got to know how to add before you can do the situational. Being in a buy is situational. Being in a sell is situational, right? It's kind of like, you know, when you're learning to read the word choir, right? It doesn't read like choir, choir, right? But if you don't know your ABCs, then you can't even write the word choir. Choir is situational. The ABCs is what we're doing here. So stay focused so that other people don't get confused, okay? That's important. That's what's happening a lot of times. People are not staying focused and then everybody gets confused, all right? So let me see if that's making sense. Number one, okay, cool. All right, all right. Vicky says she don't get the little number. Vicky, we're not dealing with the little number, Vicky. We're not dealing with that, okay? We're only dealing with this. Do you understand this? This is what you need to ask yourself, Vicky. Do you understand that you need to take when you're dealing with the Forex pair, okay? When you're dealing with a Forex pair that does not have JPY in it, that you need to look at the decimal spot and count 4 places over and use those last 2 numbers to add however many pips you're trying to add, all right? That is where we at. That is where we at, okay? Stay with us. Because like I said, again, if you're only on week 1, day 2, you're still going to be confused. I can't make you go through the training. There is no substitute for going through the training. Understand that, all right? So let's move on. All right, cool. So like I said, this is how we're going to add the pips. This is just the math part of it. This is not the situation. This is the math, all right? Now, let me see what we had next here. All right, so let's do another one. Let's do another one. Once again, we're dealing with the math. We're dealing with the math here, guys. We're dealing with the math. Let's do another one. Once again, I'm just pulling a pair off of here. All of them gonna look the same as yours because the market stopped at the same spot. All right, so let's pull another pair off of here. AUD, USD. That's just another pair, right? And on here, they have a number of price of 0.7694, and they have a little baby pipette of a 0 up here. This is what they have, so we'll rock with that. First thing we need to ask ourselves, since we're dealing with a Forex pair that does not have JPY in it, what digits do we need to look at primarily? What digits do we need to look at primarily so that we can add some pips? What digits do we need to look at? I was using the red one, I think. We got the decimal spot. We see there's 4 here, right? That decimal spot. We need to go over to the last 4 and count the last 2. That's what we need to look at. We need to start looking at these right here, okay? That 94. Does that make sense that we need to look at that 94? Put it down. Let me see what you got. The last 2. That's right, Claude. The last 2. Absolutely, Claude. That's what I'm talking about. The last 2, right? Claude had it right on the head. The last 2. So now we're going to add pips here as well. Once again, it's math. It's math, okay? But the pips that we're going to add this time is going to make you think, okay? Now it's going to make you think. Pay attention. Like I said, if you need to use a calculator, that's fine, okay? What if I said I want to add 20 pips to this? Let me use the green. What if I said I want to add 20 pips to this? 20. All right, let's say I'm adding the 20 pips here. How am I going to add that up? How am I going to add that up? I'm adding them 20 pips. How am I going to add that up? Let's start where we start. We start at the beginning, right? We ain't got to be all overwhelmed with this, right? What's 4 plus 0? What's 4 plus 0? It's 4, right? It's 4. We already know, that we just going to go ahead and bring the little pipette baby down. All right, little pipette baby. It's going to stay there. We just going to bring it down, all right? Now, we need to now add the next 2 numbers. 9 plus 2. What's 9 plus 2? What's 9 plus 2? It's 11. Now, here's where your mind about to mess you up real quick, but we're going to make sure it don't because you're paying attention, right? You say it's 11, D. So before you be like, nah. That ain't how you do math. That ain't how you do math. That's not how you do math, y'all. You don't just put 11 out. It's not how you do math. Okay? That's not how you do math at all. Okay? At all. In nobody's land. Okay? Put the 1 there. And you carry the other one. Now, that's just math, y'all. That ain't Forex math. That's math. So if you don't know that you're supposed to carry the 1, then that's when you seek other help in mathematics class. And I'm not being funny. I'm being dead serious. Because that ain't got nothing to do with Forex. If you don't know to carry the 1, that's a mathematical situation, you know, GED or something like that. And I'm not being funny. I'm being dead serious. All right? So you carry the 1. Now, what does that mean? You carry the 1 over here. So 6 plus 1 is 7. Okay, my little marker giving out on me. G first. All right. Then you bring down this 7 right here. Bring down the decimal point. Bring down the 0. So what you wind up having is this number right here after you added them 20 pips. Right? Let me see. Does that make sense? Let me see what Claude said. Claude said, yep. Claude got it 0.7714. Absolutely, Claude. All right. Nick said some quick. All right. Partner with Vicky got it. Pamela got it. You and I might mess up the name. I apologize. You right. Okay. Damn it. I don't know how to say that. But you got it too. All right. That's what I'm talking about. That is the basic way, okay, of counting the pips when you're dealing with the Forex pair that does not have JPY in it. Okay, that's another session, another day. All right. That is the basic way that you're going to count this. All right. You just bringing down the little pipette. We're not worried about counting pipettes right now. Okay. This is the basic way. So if someone asks you to add 20 pips, okay, in a basic way, not considering whether or not you're in a buy or sell, that's situational. But they just say, man, just add 20 pips. Okay. This is what you would do. Because see, once you understand how to do this, then when we get into the situational of buying and sell, it ain't nothing but knowing whether you need to add or subtract type situation then, because you're going to already know how to add and subtract. See what I'm saying? You got to know how to add and subtract before you know when to add and subtract. You got to know how to do it, right? So now we got the adding down, okay? So now let's subtract some pips. Makes sense, right? Gonna add some pips, we're gonna subtract some pips. So let's subtract some pips. And we'll use this same example. We can use this same example. Okay. All right. AUD, USD. Once again, this is for pairs that do not have JPY in it. Okay. For what we're doing today. Okay. And let's say the price once again was 0.7694. And we know we look at the decimal spot. We see there's 4 numbers. Take the last 2. All right. Take the last 2. All right. Take the last 2 digits. Right. And them the ones we're going to look at primarily. Okay. So let's talk about what if we're going to subtract some pips. So let's say we want to subtract 30 pips. Let's say we want to subtract 30 pips, right? And say, okay, well, take away 30 pips from that number. What you get? Well, let's say what do we get if we take away 30 pips? Let's see, what do we get? We're going to put the little 30 pips up here, right? But we're going to say subtract them 30 pips this time. Subtract them 30 pips. Let's go and subtract them 30 pips. What number are we left with if we subtract those 30 pips? What number are we left with? If we subtract them 30 pips, what number are we left with? Pam says 0.7664. Well, let's see what we got and see who's right. Let's see what we got. We start over here just like we do math. This is just math right here, baby. 4 minus 0 is what? 4. All right. Well, we already know we're going to keep the little baby pip. We're just going to keep the little baby pip up there. We already know that. All right. 9 minus 3 is what? 6. Then bring the rest of the numbers down. 6, 7, point, and a 0. All right, so let's see what we got. Let's see who got it. Let's see who got it. Let me see where we at. Pam says 0.7664. Perfect, perfect. Partner with Vicky, perfect. Got it right on the head. Richard, perfect. Claude, perfect. Perfect, perfect. That's perfect. Now, let's use one of them ones where we got to carry some numbers, right? So that way we don't get confused when we start putting this stuff in a situation, right? When we start talking about doing buying and selling and which way we got to do we got to add and subtract? Let's go ahead and make sure we understand how to add and subtract first. That's all I'm saying, right? We want to make sure we know how to add and subtract first, okay? So let's go ahead and do it. Let's do another one, another example. All right, let's see one that will cause us to have to carry something over. Let me see. So have something to carry something over. Let's confuse ourselves a little bit. All right. So let me see. Let's change that number because I ain't never seen them say subtract 100 pips. That'd be a lot of pips. Let's change this number so it might be something a little bit more of what they might look like. Let's say we got. Let's say that's a 4, right? So this is the number. Still got the little baby pip, right? Still got the little baby pip. But this is the number right here, okay? So let's say if we want to remove, what if we want to remove 15 pips? What if we want to remove 15 pips? Well, we start by writing the number that we want to remove. We're saying that we want to reduce it by 15 pips or subtract 15 pips, right? That's what we're saying. So let's put the 15 up here. 15, and we're going to minus them pips. Now what do? Now you see how that's a little bit different. You see there? Because you're like, wait a minute. D, we're using the last two numbers here because this pair is a Forex pair that does not have JPY. That's important. Does not have JPY is important. Because it's that pair, we're using them last two numbers right here, okay? But we want to take away 15 pips. You say, well, damn, D, 14 minus 15. Well, how you do that? Okay, we got some answers down here. We got partner with Vicky. We got Pam. We got just tell me, am I saying your name right? Unrao. Am I saying your name right? Let me know in the comments if it's Unrao. All right. So let's see. They got some answers. Let's see how y'all came up with these answers. All right. So if we're doing some math, we like, okay, we can't take 5 from 4. Just math right here. We can't. So we got to go borrow over here. And this, what I'm doing is just math. Okay. Yes, you can use a calculator. Yes, you can. Okay. So don't trip. You can use a calculator if you want. All right. I just am not using a calculator for this sake, but yes, you can. And sometimes I do. So you cross out the 1, make it a 0. You're going to borrow that. Bring that 1 over here. That makes it 14. 14 minus 5 is 9. Okay, we're making some headway. Now, can we do 0 minus 1? We're like, damn, that's not enough. What do we have to do? Well, we got to get some more numbers over here so we can subtract that 1. So cross that 6 out, make that a 5. Bring that 1 over here. That's 10. 10 minus 1 is a 9. Then what we have over here, we had that 5 left. Now we had at 7.0. And we got the little baby pit. Okay? Now everything I just did is just math. No matter if you're doing Forex, I don't care if you're teaching your kid how to do math. That's just math. Just math all day, twice on Sunday. That is not Forex math. That's math. Meaning you can literally use your calculator to calculate that math once you know where this 15 goes. Okay, and I'll give you an example of that in just a moment, but I want you to understand that what I just did is not Forex math, that's math. You got to understand math before we can, make sense of the situational Forex math that we're going to need to do with the pip counting. Okay, I want to make sure you guys understand that. So don't think I just taught you something new because I didn't. Okay, so let's see who got that number. Partner with Vicky. Hold on, wait a minute. Partner Vicky, that's wrong. No, Vicky, that ain't right. Pam got the number 0.7599. Absolutely. Uranus got it right. All right, partner Vicky amended her answer. She got it right now. Claude, what happened, Claude? Claude, that's not right, Claude. We did something wrong there, Claude. Let's see what we got here. Okay. Fernando. Okay, Unruh is Fernando. Okay. Claude came up with something different. Claude came with 0.7084. That's not right, Claude. Jennifer, you got it right. Oh, Claude said a redo. Okay. Claude said a redo. All right, Claude, what's your redo answer? I didn't see your redo answer. And Jamie got it right. Okay. Once again, guys, that's just math, not Forex math. That's just math. All right. Now, what if you're using a calculator? Okay. What if you're using a calculator? And you say, well, Dee, I'm using a calculator, but how I write that number in if I'm using the calculator? Now, to some people, they may say, well, that's common sense. Actually, it's not common. Ain't nothing common until you learn something. All right. Ain't nothing common until you learn it. Right. So for those of you using a calculator, once again, what I'm about to show you is just math. It's not Forex math. It's just math. Right. You just put in placeholders. And let me show you. These are for people who are using a calculator. OK, because I know some people are going to use a calculator. I use a calculator, too, on some of the stuff. OK, depends on how fast I need to put stuff in. So let me see. 7614. Let me put that number up there again so you guys can see. 7614. OK, so let's say you're using a calculator. All right. Then all you're doing is you put it in placeholders so that you can put it inside your calculator. Placeholders, just zeros. Just zeros. OK, so that means if you type in your calculator, if you was to type in your calculator 0.7614, because we're minusing 15 pips, because we're doing minus 15 pips, then you will put minus in your calculator. Like those of you guys who have a separate calculator, just do this now. Even if you're not going to use a calculator moving forward, just do it now. Just do it now. Type in 0.7614. Type it in, type it in, type it in, type it in. Then put minus and put 0.0015. Put it in, put it in, put it in. And tell me, don't you come up with the same price that we just came up with for those of us who did it in our head. All right. Nick said the same. The reason why I wanted to show you guys this, because as I was doing it, right, I said, well, damn, some of the numbers I wasn't coming up with them fast enough. I wasn't answering it fast enough, right? I wasn't getting the answer fast enough. And, the market be moving. You get all nervous, right? I'm like, yo, damn, I need to put this in the calculator real quick so it can be faster. That's just what I chose. So I know some people are going to use a calculator for accuracy, and that's totally fine. So I wanted to make sure you guys understood that all this is placeholders, the 0, the 0, the 0.0, right? So that way, if you wanted to put it in the calculator, you can. Okay? Now you know how to put it in a calculator. All right? If you don't want to use a calculator, you don't have to. All right? Either way, you coming up with the same answer. Does it make sense? Right. Nick says, better take your time and be sure than rush and put in a trade with the wrong numbers. Absolutely. It's better to take your time and be sure. Exactly. So if you need to put in a calculator because you're like, I just want to be 100% sure, whatever, that's fine. If you're doing it in your head and you're confident in that, that's fine. But yes, it is better to be sure than be rushing, because you rush and you put in the wrong numbers, even on a copy and paste, y'all. I lost money on copy and paste. I put in the wrong stuff. I put in the wrong stuff. And it was a good thing I was in demo, right? You know what I'm saying? So yes, you can lose on copy and paste because you ain't paying attention or because you moving too fast. Yes, you can lose on copy and paste. Okay. All right. I done did it. Okay. All right. So now what you understand at this point is the basics of how to add some pips and subtract some pips. Okay. When you're dealing with Forex pairs, okay, that do not have JPY in them. Okay, that's what you have a basic knowledge of now. All right, we're not dealing with what is it going to be if you're in a buy, if you're in a sell. That's situational. That's reading a book. That's writing a novel. Right now, you're learning ABCs. You have just learned your ABCs. You literally just learned your ABCs. Give yourselves a hand. I don't know if there's a hand emoji. Give yourselves a hand or drop some fire in the chat, because you might not have a hand emoji. Drop some fire in the chat because you guys are on fire. Because some of y'all really on top of this. And I promise you guys, I'm speaking from experience. I'm new just like you guys, but I'm speaking from experience. Like I may only be like a step ahead of where y'all at. I'm not like 1,200 steps ahead. I may be like literally a step ahead. And I know some of the hiccups that you're going to hit because I hit them. And I'm like, dang, if I'd have had a known that, you know what I mean? If I'd have had but now you're going to have a better idea as you're going through the 2-week syllabus. Things, when they're talking about pips, it'll be a little bit clearer for you. And that's the point anyway. That's the point. All right, cool. Now, Now what we have is who's ready for a little friendly competition, okay? So that means I need 3 contestants. If you want to volunteer to be a contestant on the Price is Dee, look, the Price is Dee, not the Price is Right, the Price is Dee. I made that up, right? If you want to apply to be a contestant, put down the number 3 down in the chat because you're about to be a contestant, because now we're going to go ahead and make sure that we understand this, all right? Put down in the chat number 3. All right, the first 3s that I got Pam, I got Vicky, and Nick. Nick putting it, you know what? I ain't even going to trip. I'm gonna let Nick be in. He was the number 3. I'm gonna let Nick be in because I promise you guys, we all need to practice this. So I'm not even gonna trip because I still be practicing this. All right. So let's see. How can we? I need to bring on Vicky. Unmute yourself. Okay. Vicky, Nick, and Pam. Pam, unmute yourself, please.
Okay.
And Nick, say something so I can make sure. Oh, wait, hold on. My speaker not on. Hold on a minute. Okay, Vicky, can you hear me?
Yes.
Nick, can you hear me?
Did you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, I hear you now. Nick, can you hear me?
Yes.
That was a real low yes, Nick. What's up? Nick, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Pam, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right, we're about to have a competition with those 3. Okay, we're about to have a competition. So don't nobody put in the chat the answers because y'all had a chance to be in competition. You know what I mean? Don't put the answers in the chat. Write them down on your notepad. Don't put the answers in the chat. All right? This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to put up an equation, okay, like we just went through. All right? And we're going to see who gets the answer first. I don't care if you use your head or use your calculator. It must be accurate. Right? The first answer you give is the only answer you can give. So there ain't no 0.2156. Oh, wait. I meant 0.2156. I mean, wait. No. First answer you give is your answer. Number 1. Okay. All right. And the first one who gives the correct answer is the winner. And we have 3 rounds. We got round 1, round 2, and round 3. Okay. So up here, we got Vicky, we got Pam, and we got Nick. Now, I'm not going to say that there's extra pressure on Nick here to win. I'm not going to say that, but it kind of is, brother. You know what I'm saying? You are our leader, brother. I'm just, putting that out there, brother. So, hey, you know what I mean? But I will tell you, I've worked personally with Vicky and Pam, and they ain't no slouches. I'm just saying. So, it's not a shoe-in for Nick. It ain't a shoe-in because these ladies ain't no slouches. I work personally with them. Okay? So, first, let me pull up a pair. All right? I'm gonna use USD CAD. Okay? I'm gonna use USD CAD. USD CAD. Okay, that's the pair I'm going to use. Okay, and let me see what price I'm going to use here. And the price I'm going to use is 1.2730 with a baby pip of 7. Okay, all right, that's what I'm going to use. Now, I'm about to tell you how many pips I want you to either add or subtract. Okay. Don't nobody write the answers down in the chat now. Don't nobody write the answers. I want you guys to, I'm going to write it up here and then I'm going to move up the way.
Are we supposed to write the answers or shout them out?
You can shout it out. You can shout it out. Okay. Y'all ready?
Ready. Go.
Add 71 pips. Go.
1.2801.
Okay, that was a blunder. Pam, what did you say? I'm sorry.
1.2801.
That's what Pam said. Okay. All right. Let's see
You
if
gotta
Pam
bring
is
the
right,
baby
because
pip
I didn't
down.
do the math yet. That was a
baby
bugger
pip
right
down.
there.
I was the same.
Nick didn't say nothing. Nick, do you even got an answer?
Yeah.
I mean, y'all can at least give an answer.
But my answer has a baby pip at the end.
Okay, so what's your answer, Nick? And Vicky, what's your answer?
1.28017. Is that a 7, the baby pip?
You said, what's your number again, Nick? I'm sorry.
1.2801.
1.2801.
Yeah, but I can't read the baby pip. Is that a 7?
Yeah, that's a 7.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, what was your answer, Vicky?
1.2801.
All right, cool. So we got, and that was probably a 1 that Pam said. I'm sorry, Pam. All right, these are the 3 answers we got here. All right, we got Pam answer. Pam didn't answer first, but that's her answer. Nick answered, that's his answer. And Vicky answered, that's her answer. So now, you guys who were not as contestants, put the answer down below. Put the answer down below. What's the answer? What is the new price? We added 71 pips. Put the answer down below. And now we're going to do the math. We're going to do the math, all right? So let me put their answers over here. We got Pam said 1.2801. Nick said 1.2801 with a baby pip of 7. Vicky said 1.2801. Okay? So let's go ahead and see what we got. Put down the comment, Claude. I know you got an answer down there, Claude. I know you got an answer, Claude. Claude better have an answer. Don't let me down, buddy. All right, so let's do the math over here. We're adding up 71 pips. Adding 71 pips to it, right? 71 pips. So we know we're going to take the last the last 2, right? Digits right there, right? We're going to take the last 2, all right? Then we're going to add it up. So what we got? We got 0 plus 1 is 1. We got 3 plus 7 is 10 plus 1. We got a 7 plus 1 is 8. We got a 2. We got a 1. We got a decimal, and we got a baby pip.
Mm-hmm.
So the correct answer is 1.2801 with a baby pip of 7. Let's see what answers we got here. Pam said 1.2801. Is that the same as this? Yes or no?
No.
Put down in the comments. Let me know. Yes or no? Is that the same? Yes or no?
No.
No. Exactly. I forgot his name
it?
again. But I'm going to just say you.
Fernando.
Richard?
Fernando.
I forgot. Okay. But the
Fernando.
point of the matter is, correct? No. That is no. And
That's
see,
right.
this is important that we did this
Mm-hmm.
because people will forget that little pipette.
Right.
And when we get into where you have to use that little baby pipette, your whole number will be wrong, which means you actually could put yourself in a situation of losing money by believing off that pipette.
Okay.
Okay? And so that means Vicky was wrong too. So Nick was correct. Nick was correct. So
Okay,
Nick won round 1. Okay. All right. Nick won round 1. All right. See, this is why Nick wanted to have something like this, because it is through repetition that you're actually going to get this stuff. It is not you going through the training one time because you want to hurry up and get through it, because you want to hurry up and get the copy and paste, because you want to hurry up and get the money. You're going to hurry up and get to an empty wallet if you don't practice. I literally did this practicing, like I'm, showing you guys. I literally did this. Like, oh, let me go practice some more. Oh, okay. Damn. Oh, okay. I literally did it. All right. So Nick is the winner for round 1. All right. So throw some fire in the chat for Nick. Fire in the chat for Nick. Come on, throw some fire in the chat for Nick. All right. And Naomi got it right too. Naomi got it right too. Adelie got it right. Absolutely. Yes to Nick. Right. Absolutely. Cool. All right. So Nick is winning. Let's go into round 2. Let's use another pair real quick. This pair we're gonna use is, let's use this pair right here. Euro, and I'm probably gonna say this name wrong. It's CZK. It's a pair though. All right. And the price is 26.223 3 with a pipette of 1. Okay? So now what we're going to do to this is, let's see. Y'all ready?
Yeah,
Let me make sure I
Ready.
make this number bigger. I want
ready.
Okay. All right. I'm about to reveal what I want y'all to do. Subtract 51 pips. Go.
Okay, 26.2192 and a baby 1 pip.
Yep, that's
26.2192 and a baby pip of 1.
Yes.
All right. That's what Pam said. All right. Pam was the first one, but let me know what y'all got because I haven't added up yet. So
yeah, that's exactly.
26.2192 with a pipette of 1.
all right, Nick.
Yep, same thing. 26.2192 baby pip 1.
All right, so let's do the math, y'all. Let's see what y'all got down there before we do the math. What did y'all get? What did y'all get? Insert 3 fire emojis. No, let me say it right. Tell me, guys, what did you guys get down in chat? Put down in chat. Let me know what y'all got. Let me know what y'all got. All right, and let's do the math over here. All right, we said we're going to subtract 51 pips, right? So we know that we need to use the last 2, right? Because we're dealing with a pair that does not have JPY. That's important to know, okay? And we're going to take away 51 pips. We're going to subtract 51 pips in this particular case, okay? In this particular case, we're going to subtract 51 pips. We're just doing regular math right now, not situational math, all right? So let's do the math, and I'm just going to do it, manually. I'm going to do it manually so you can see it work out manually. We already know the little baby pipette is going to come down, little baby pipette. All right, we know little baby pipette going to come down right now, okay? 3 minus 1 is 2. Now, we can't take 5 from 4. So what do? We go over to the next number and borrow one of them. Borrow one. 14 minus 5 is 9. 1 minus 0 is 1. They bring down that 2, bring down that decimal, bring down that 6, bring down that 2. So we wind up with an answer of 26.2192 with a baby pipette of 1. Yes. So Pam was fast and accurate. Fast and accurate. All right. But we still gotta give a hand as well to Vicky and Nick because they did get the right answer. But Pam, you won the round. Pam, you won the round. All right. So some fire down there for Pam. Say Pam fire, Pam fire, Pam fire. That is good. And we got one more round. You guys are getting this, guys. You guys are getting this. I guarantee, guys, once you start moving forward and then you learn how to do this situational thing, you can like, oh my goodness, I feel so much better. All right. So you got Pam, 1 here. Okay, we got one more round. All right. One more round. Let's see who's going to win this last round. Okay. Let's see who's going to win the last round. Let's see. All right. This is our last one. Here's the pair we're going to use. We're going to use a Euro GBP. The Euro GBP, Great British Pound. The price we're going to use is 0.8940 with a pipette of 2. Okay. And then let's see how many pips we're going to either add or subtract. Y'all ready?
Ready, go.
Add 31 pips. Go.
0.8971 with a pipette of 2.
Boom.
Absolutely.
Boom, boom, boom. Vicky, Pam, and Nick.
Yep, same.
Zero, the
Are you
same.
okay, Nick?
0.8971 with a pipette of 2.
Are you okay, Red Nick? You was a little slow. You all right, man?
No,
I'm not gonna say how. I'm not gonna say how our leader is a little behind. I'm not even gonna say that.
Because Vicky had it first, I wanted to let her speak.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you, Nick. I
He lost, bro.
appreciate it.
I am a gentleman.
He lost, bro. He
Thank
lost.
you.
All right, so let's make sure that everybody understands this. Once again, because we're dealing with a pair, a Forex pair, okay, that does not have JPY in it, we're looking at the decimal move. Oh, we see these 4 spots, but we're going to the last 2. That's what we're looking at, okay? And we know that we're going to add 31 pips here, okay? And now it's just math. It's just math at this point. We know our little baby pip gonna come with us. We don't leave without a baby. Can't leave. I mean, who leaving their baby? I'm gonna call the cops on y'all. All right. Y'all leaving the baby. Right. So 0 plus 1 is 1. 4 plus 3 is 7. All right. Then you bring down the other numbers: the 9, the 8, the decimal is 0. All right. So let's see what we got: 0.8971 with the pipette of 2. Absolutely, absolutely. All right. So everybody is a winner. Look at you. See, look at that. Y'all had a tie. Everybody's a winner. Give fire in the chat for everybody. Fire in the chat for everybody. Fire in the chat for everybody. Y'all all won. Y'all brung up the rears on that. Y'all brung up the rears. Because, Nick, you was going to look real bad if you would have had 0, man. I would have had to go tell everybody in Epic what happened. All right. All right. So, guys, look. Did you guys enjoy that exercise? Did it help you? Okay. That's the main thing.
Helped.
If it helped you start understanding, like I said, we have other things we're going to cover, which I talked about, right? To help you get a little bit clearer on things as you go through the syllabus. Okay, so this does not take the place of what you learn in the syllabus. It is as you go through. And notice this is only the basic stuff. We're not going to be up here talking, unless he has a guest speaker. I'm not going to be up here talking about no advanced shit because I don't know no advanced stuff, right? I'm only helping with what I've learned so far because I did hit some stumbling blocks on the pip counting. I hit some stumbling blocks on, making it make sense. All right. So put down in the comments if this is helping you be able to just have just even the iota bit of extra clarity as you go through the 2-week syllabus. Put down in chat in number 2. Put down in number 2 in the chat if this helped you at least a little bit on having a little bit more clarity, because that's the whole purpose of it. Absolutely, absolutely. Anral said, great job. Absolutely. Adelina, and I may tear up names, and I don't mean nothing by tearing up the names. I'm sorry. Alexa says yes. Richard says big help. Naomi says yes. Absolutely, absolutely. This is good. So now, this concludes this session. Okay? See, we're not trying to put everything on one session because that's only going to lead to a lot of overwhelm. This concludes this session. Does that mean that you are a master pip counter? No, because there's more parts to it that we'll discuss later and you'll learn in the 2 training. But guess what this means? You know at least how to do the ABCs of adding and subtracting of Forex pairs that don't have the JPY. You know how to do the ABCs now, baby. All right? You know how to do the ABCs. Now, so what do we do now? What do we do now? All right, so we make sure we leave on the same note so that everybody understands what we do now. Number 1, continue your 2-week syllabus. Okay? Continue that. All right? If you are like, a little bit further along in your 2-week syllabus or whatever, at some point, and everybody's point that they do this in will be different. Okay? But at some point, you will start reading the Candlestick Bible. Okay? Now, I'm not going to tell you when to start reading it or whatever, all right? Because I've noticed that people do it at different times. And in the training for Epic, it didn't say a specific day to start reading it. At least it hasn't said it yet. I put it that way. Up to week 1, day 4, it hasn't, said, hey, go read it yet. But I personally did start reading it, and I'm getting a lot of good information from it. Okay? So at some point, you will start reading that Candlestick Bible, but you need to be going through that 2-week syllabus. Okay? And at some point, you'll start reading that Candlestick Bible, whether you start reading it now or whether you start reading it a little bit in the future. But I can just tell you, if you haven't started reading it, I'll just tell you that it's going to help you greatly when you're looking at charts. It's like, seriously, understanding the charts is how you make the bread, right? So, but number 1 priority is going through the 2-week syllabus. If you have been in the program for 2 weeks now, for example, right, and you're only on day 2, then you have only put in about approximately 4 hours. You have only put in approximately 4 hours because each day is approximately 2 hours. And I say approximate, that's based on you actually taking notes as well. The videos aren't that long. It's just that if you're taking notes, this is about how long it took me because I did take some really Like seriously, like I don't even fluff with this type situation, like some serious notes. I ain't even playing, right? You know, so that's how I can estimate that time. So when you're looking at your progress and you're like, this stuff ain't making sense. How much time did you put in it? You've been in 2 weeks and you put in a whole 4 hours? Well, get what you get, right? Get what you get. Okay? So you have a plan, continue your 2-week syllabus, and at some point you will start your candlestick Bible and ask questions. Ask questions. Ask questions. Ask questions. I'm telling y'all what I did. Ask questions. You can ask them to the company, the company, right? They have a company email to ask for trading questions. They have the company company telegram, right? And we can ask questions, okay? Then and we have a team telegram, and there's a dude in there. I'm gonna tell y'all the dude I've been straight up getting some straight fire from. His tag name is M Trader. Dude will help me a lot. He's in our team telegram, okay? And then you have our team Facebook group as well. And Marianne has been helping me a great deal inside our team Facebook group. So that means the same way I've been getting help, you guys have access to all of these as well. All right. So guys, before we end, put that in the comments. Let me know who is now pumped up to move forward with their education in Epic. If you're pumped up, throw some fire down the chat. Let me know you pumped up. Let me know, because I'm pumped, yo. I've been training every day. Like, I'm pumped. I ain't even playing. All right. Annalise says, yes, okay, fire. That's what I'm talking about. Arun says, fire. Yes, yes. Simon says, fire. Alex says, I am ready. Claude did one of these real quick. All right, and then we got some fire. Pam got the pump. That's what I'm talking about, y'all. That's what I'm talking about. That's how we want it to be. All right. Other than that, guys, that concludes this particular session. Stay tuned in the group so that way make sure you got the meeting schedule and everything that Marianne and Nick have put together for us to keep us on the right track so that we can be some epic traders, baby. Other than that, you already know we're going to take this ride. Where we going to take it? To the top. All right. And we